So, our third picture today features Arene, Mo and Patty Boy.
Yeah. So basically our artist is called Rich C and the song is gonna be Young Bane Should Have Known Better.
Okay, so the original artist of the song is Young Bane, who is widely known for his work in the Afro swing genre. So our artist...
Whoa, Afro swing. What's that?
Yeah, we'll go on to that.
Oh, okay, fine.
Our artist is called Rich C. He originates from East London, also adopting his physical traits such as clothing and overall style, something which is stemmed from the urban UK scene. Rich C is from Hackney, whereas Young Bane is from Canning Town. Although from different areas, they both have similar environments which predominantly focus around gang culture and music. Our inspiration for our artist name came from Young Bane's original name, G. Muller meaning money. We wanted to incorporate the idea of money into our artist name because the genre of music is heavily influenced by this. And then for our male, who's going to be the artist, we have an idea of Wesley. So,
yeah, and for the female, we will explain in the narrative on why females need. So basically, Afro swing is a subgenre of Afro beats, and essentially the core of the genre is Afro beats, and then it goes on to different genres. So it might go on to dancehall, rap, hip hop, as is explained there, as predominant artists such as J Hus, Kojo, Franz Notes, and Young Bane. But essentially, it's a new genre which is labeled and named itself by the artist within the genre. So, recently, J Hus was saying he's not Afro swing. Everyone who does Afro swing are his kids, is what he was saying, because he feels as if he's the pioneer of his own genre. But essentially, they all follow the same conventions of having the Afrobeat root and then using instruments such as saxophone, key solos, percussion, and bass guitars and etc. So the song will be Should Have Known Better by Young Bane. It doesn't have a music video first of all, which is why we chose to use it, because we wanted to do our own take on it. The chorus just goes "You should have known better," etc., and uses lyrics such as "Cause you out here creeping on the low," etc. You had time to call my phone. It's love based. He speaks in the first and third person, so he speaks about himself, then he speaks from her perspective, and he says you and things like that. So we could take a spin on that, and it's more sang to a female, which we'll elaborate in.
What should she have known better?
Yeah, but it doesn't really explicitly say in the song, so we're going to take our own spin on it in the narrative. And it also has lyrics, for example, because you want to be famous for the pedals and the diamond ring, so that's she really likes that flashy lifestyle, so she should have known better about how he's going to behave. So in our narrative, we would have the boy, the artist, Rich C, who's the artist, and he's distracted by the flashy lifestyle and the way that he works, and he has a girlfriend who feels neglected. So while she's feeling neglected and he's in the studio performing, which we'll use the performance hall to execute, and in my house I have all the foam that I can put onto the wall and a mic and etc. to make it look like a studio. So he's busy doing that, and then she's beginning to feel neglected and get suspicious. But while she's suspicious, he's actually planning a surprise party for her, and she should have known better. Hence why she thought that he was cheating, but she should have known better. He was just trying to plan a surprise party. So we went for an apartment, hopefully, or a modern looking house, or a studio which we're to create, and also for performance shots, because that's a key part of the genre. We'd have it on a block in Hackney with the artist and friends behind it.
So, in terms of a narrative, so do we as an audience think that he might be a cheater? And when he's saying should have known better, we think that he's talking about the fact that she should have known that he was a cheater.
Yeah.
But what it turns out is that he was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something called delay of diegesis, which is part of Andrew Goodwin's theory. So when we come around to look at Goodwin, that'd be really useful, a good thing to do.
So our target audience will be the age range 16 to 25, and if you look at the Afro swing genre now, the artists are mostly between that age range as well, and the audience are mostly that age range as well. So we decided to choose that age range, and for example, we have relatable lyrics such as love, relationship, sex-based, and the clothing that the artists wear are similar to what normal youths wear as well, and it's a song that you can dance to as well. So if you look at Belly Squad, they're aged between 18 to 20, and most of their songs are really about sex, and Yeah, and it's something that you'd listen to at a party, and similar. They all dress similar to what you normally use nowadays. And yeah. And okay, ways to promote. We can promote through. Promotion is very important when it comes to music videos, because you need to market the artist and song. So you can market through social media, the artist websites, and collaboration with other artists and streaming sites. Yeah. So when it comes to Afro swing, the best way to advertise is through social networks such as Instagram. And if you look at Young Bane, he's got 98.7k followers on Instagram, and if he posts something there, that's at least 90,000 people seeing it. And or you could have other popular pages such as I'm Just Babe, who have 1.2 million followers, who if they post a snippet of your video, and then you have a bigger outreach. Yeah, and then when it comes to digipack, in the genre, the artist doesn't have to be on the cover specifically. So what we decided that we'll have balloons, money, and colors such as pink and dark red to show love. Yeah.
So for the male style, we will have our artists dressed in stereotypical youthful clothing prior to the party, which is a normal convention of our genre. And then for the party, he makes an effort to impress the girl. He dresses more smart, yet still trendy, wearing designer clothes. For the female style, she's also dressed casually before the party, as she isn't expecting anything, so jeans, t-shirt and trainers. And then she believes that she gets dressed up because she thinks that she's going to a party for somebody else, but it's actually for her. So a nice dress, heels and makeup.
Yeah, that's it basically.
Any questions from the floor? Yeah, sorry, good one.
Where's your location? Main.
So yeah, location, like I said here, like we're looking to do it like in an apartment or a modern looking household. So we can use that for like the room, for example, when the girls text and where are you, like it won't really, and then we could also throw the party in that same thing. And then also I said a block, because like that's the main part of like the genre, like artists want to perform with their boys behind them, so that will help us like use that as a performance shot to go through the music video.
So you're going to have, sorry to interrupt you guys, you're going to have one space for the guy and then one space for the girl. Do you think space is quite gendered in that sense? It's quite interesting, isn't it? So Patrick said that the guy's space will be social and will be outside, but the female space will be inside and quite insular because she's by herself.
Yeah. So like that's like kind of comes with the lifestyle. Like he's an artist, doesn't really pay too much attention. She's waiting for him at home, etc., etc. He's always out performing in the studio, and like she should have known better. Hence, like the lyrics explain that type of lifestyle that she got into essentially.
So that ties into a narrative really well, and I think that space is a really important, underappreciated part of music videos. To think about space and how you use space and what space you want and how you feel that space as well. Most importantly, do you think that's the case? I'm just asking everyone this. Do you think that's the case in music videos generally? Do you think space is gendered? Do males have a space and females have a space in music videos?
Yeah.
Any example of the content?
Because like when you like in terms of space, when they sort of cross over, it sort of will make the audience feel uncomfortable. So they like they realize that actually there is like a male like sphere and a woman's sphere, and if they try to like cross over, it could make not everyone uncomfortable, but some people might see as like it's really different or it's like really out there.
Mm. And do you think that's genre dependent as well? Because if I, my understanding of grime is limited compared to all of yours, all those of you that like it, but grime seems to me to be very like machismo, like it's all about like men in their environment. You don't really see women come into that environment very often, do you?
Not in grime, hardly ever.
Is that a problem?
Yeah.
So where is female empowerment and female space in urban music?
I think it's coming through because there are a lot of like especially artists that tap into this Afro swing genre. You have people like you probably definitely haven't heard of them, but like Miss Banks or Trillery Banks. Like, funny enough, they have like a similar name, but they both explore this type of genre, and it's like, I think Miss Banks is from like Southeast London, so you wouldn't really expect her to be so feminine, yet like she grew up on a block, like she smokes weed, parties and things like that. So
And she's shown in that environment in
yeah,
her
so
videos.
she crosses over, so she can do like the sexy girl look and be quite provocative, and then she can also be in a tracksuit smoking in the studio. So I think she does a good crossover.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I guess the other thing about it is, in terms of like post-feminist theory, does a woman need to be, if a woman is then fulfilling a male role to be successful, isn't that a problem in itself? Why can't a woman be in a female role and be successful? Why do they have to cross over?
But Beyonce does it quite well, and she's quite black.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess Beyonce occupies many different worlds, doesn't she? Yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, guys, great pitch. Well done.